sort out his computer, and then we're going to get underway. He's going to turn flux off. You're going to turn flux off. Flux.
Disable flux.
You know, the thing that makes all your colours look whack. Yep. We'll turn caffeine on.
Take some more screenshots.
We're just going to live code.
I'm going to attempt.
Okay. Garrow's going to attempt to live code. So this will be entertaining. Over to you, Garrow. Wait, you're not ready.
No,
keep talking. You good?
I'm about for a bit.
You're ready, Garrow. Thanks, guys. Sometime.
That was so fast.
Hey, so this is a really quick talk about a gem that I've been using recently called Event Sourced Record, and it's just for doing event sourcing. Has anybody heard of event sourcing?
Yeah.
Woo!
Sounds cool. So, I'll just go through. Hi, I'm Garrow. I'm post technical. I work in fashion. Yes, that's exactly what it's like. Fashion. We have a problem. Our website is shit. No, not really. We want to tell customers when their order's ready. So if we add the finish date to the order, we know when it's ready. We can tell them that. We might later on find out that we want to tell them the state of their order. So we've added something to our order. Now we want to tell people per item on each order. So for every item on the order, we add a state, and we update the state when the state changes occur. I don't know if you guys can see where this is going, but a long time later, we want to report, and we want to tell, we drill on this, and tell them this, and tell what happened here, and know what happened here, and how, and customer service needs to know something here, and all of a sudden, our information that we have in Rails, which is just like, or a record in the database, is just the current state right now. So we have no idea what happened when, and who did it, and why. So there's ways of doing that, which is like using paper trail, or any sort of audit log stuff, but really, all these things came down to something happened, and then something happened after that, and something happened after that. Now, if we were to keep all those events, and this is where the event sourcing comes in, we could then use those events to calculate what the final state of something might be. Oh yeah, sorry, the solution is actually time travel. So event sourcing is basically and I'm quoting a guy called Francis Wang here, who did a presentation which you should watch, where I got the idea of using this from, a time-based series of immutable events. So an event happens and it just stores a piece of information, and then later on we can use that information to calculate something for the business. And then Martin Fowler actually came up with this like 15 years ago. Go watch the presentation. There'll be links at the end of the talk. You can just go to the link. So yeah, events are immutable, as in they exist once, they never change, or should almost never change. You have a calculator which takes these events that have occurred, say like a shipping event, something is shipped, and then applies a calculation on the event that happens, and then makes a change to the projection. And the projection is what we would normally have in our system, like the user or the subscription or whatever. And the projection is just a cache of the value, essentially. And so you might say that somebody has subscribed, they've counted their subscription, they've subscribed again, they've renewed. What is the final state? That is cached in the projection. There's some concepts you can look up. Thanks to Francis, who did the actual presentation, and I've screenshotted it. So you have in Rails, like, you know, a subscription event, and then you have a calculator which then writes into the subscription. So yeah, travel events, you get to audit log, you can time travel because you can replay events only up to a certain point, and you can update your business logic and then rerun the existing data that you have to apply updated logic. Say, for example, if you had a bug in your subscriber logic, you could say, actually no, when these events should have happened, this should have happened, and so you can rerun all those events. I'll skip over some of this stuff. So for fashion, the problem we have is fabrication states. We do dresses manufactured on demand, so our customers actually want to know when things are happening at the factory and when to get sent to them, and returns. So a fabrication might be created, a purchase order is placed, or the state might be changed, which is a shitty catch-all event, or it might be shipped. So this is the fabrication class, event class, which I'll actually load up. But you basically, in this gem, you define event types. And the event type is, it's created, a purchase order is placed in this case, where we capture a purchase order number, or we might capture a tracking number when it gets shipped. But the point is that each of these events are kind of a business domain idea. And there's other ways of doing this. You could do this with just regular old objects in the database, like a user sign up is kind of an event that drives the user. It's a bit tough. We're going to demo. So yeah, this is the actual code from our actual website, which is shit. Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to hook up here. So, can everybody hear? Yeah, cool. I just copied and pasted this stuff, so if it doesn't work, I can just show you. So we're using Spree, which sucks balls. Bigger? Oh, sorry, it needs to be bigger. I should have been bigger. Okay, so pulled a line item. What? Is that big enough?
Yeah, it's good.
Alright, cool. So, I was wondering, yeah, okay, thanks. So I've just got a little helper method on fabrication which finds a fabrication or creates one. Okay, that's a crap one, I'll get a different one. Yay, here we go, okay. So what's just happened here, which you can't quite see, is I've got a line item, which is the Spree crappy line item, and I'm looking for a fabrication for it. There wasn't one, so the fabrication has created, I've got a fabrication event, which is here. So I've got a new fabrication event, which is the creation, and then the calculator gets run, because using active model observers, and then creates a fabrication built off that event. So now I have a fabrication event and a fabrication. So if I was just to go to fabrication, I have one event, which is the creation. And you can see this event type. Creation. There we go. So I have some more events, which I'll just sort of whack in now one after the other. So this is the purchase order place event, which fires, inserts a new event, and then updates the fabrication. Thanks to the magic of Rails, I'll just go and get the events. So I now have two events on that fabrication. So I now have basically an audit trail of who did what, when it happened, for free, essentially. And I can use that to display things, and then can't see my mouse, and then another event. So now the item's been shipped, I created a new event, and then our fabrication events now have 3 events, and that's basically it for the fabrication. It's currently broken on my branch, but you can also then do things like take the calculator, which is the thing that turns the events into the cached object in the projection, and only run up to a certain point in time. So what this would actually do is, if I grab the date, it would run the calculator. It would run the calculator up to a certain point, and then you can inspect the object, the fabrication object, at a certain point in time, without having to sort of like reify like an audit trail log. Basically, you get that. And the cool thing is you can look into those events and sort of draw a little timeline or whatever you want to do. So no more live coding. The create event is a little painful, so it's kind of a bit of code you have to do to make that work, which is why I have that little helper method. This doesn't really help you with business objects because the events themselves have to be immutable, and the calculator has to be idempotent. So basically the calculator will be run and run and run and run over and over again on the same sets of data, and it should only ever update the projection, the record that's being created, that's being updated. So things like integrations with other things like email notifications or anything else needs to happen somewhere else. And I've been using a service object for that. You might want to actually model things as other domain objects. Go watch Francis's presentation. It's 40 minutes long. It's really, really good. he actually explains these things really well, where I've just been smashing through it. Yep, there's like... I spent most of today debugging a sidekick issue in production on the site, so I didn't actually prepare as much as I wanted to. So there's some links there, Martin Fowler, and the gem itself. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Garrow. So that draws us to our conclusion tonight. Just before we go, a reminder that... that's all right, I don't need that yet.